Ever feel like you've seen it all? Like you've explored every corner of a fandom?
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Well, get ready for a surprise, because today we're diving deep into Yu-Gi-Oh territory, but not the kind you'd expect.
Oh, really? What do you mean?
We're talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! R. It's this hidden chapter that even some diehard fans might not know about.
Yu-Gi-Oh! R.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that one. Most fans probably aren't either. There's already so much Yu-Gi-Oh! Out there, with the shows, the manga, even the capsule monsters.
Right, exactly. And that's what makes this so cool. R exists in this weird kind of limbo. It's manga only. And it was released after the Battle City tournament, but before that whole final arc with the Millennium World.
Oh, wow. So like squeezed in between the major storylines.
Yep. And get this, it wasn't even created by Kazuki Takahashi himself.
What? So who made it?
It was one of his assistants.
Huh. That's interesting. It makes you wonder why it was tucked away like that, Why not make it a full-fledged part of the main story?
Right, there's got to be a reason. So we've got this manga tucked away in this strange little pocket of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Timeline. What's the story? What's it even about?
Well, the story kicks off with a pretty shocking event. Pegasus, the creator of Duel monsters, is murdered.
Whoa, hold on, murdered?
Yeah, and his adopted son, Yako, is out for revenge.
Okay, wow. Right off the bat, that's a lot darker than what we usually see in Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, we've seen some intense duels and some serious stakes, but murder, that takes things to a whole new level.
Right. It definitely sets a different tone for the story. And that revenge plotline, it's a classic storytelling trope, but seeing how it plays out in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Universe is pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious about that too. So Yako's out for revenge.
Yeah.
What does that mean for the rest of the characters we know, like Kaiba or Yugi? Do they get involved?
Oh, yeah, they definitely do. Yako ends up going after Kaiba Corp, actually.
Wait, Kaiba Corp? How does he even manage to take over a corporation like that?
Well, that's one of the things that makes Yu-Gi-Oh! R kind of out there. It doesn't really explain how it happens, but Yako ends up in control. He uses Kaiba Corp's resources to further his plans.
Okay, so he's got power, he's got resources, and then there are those crazy cards he's got, the ones that can counter the god cards. How is that even possible? Those cards are like the ultimate power in duel monsters.
Right. I mean, the god cards represent this immense power, almost like forces of nature. But Yako's cards, they introduce a whole new layer of strategy. It's like they exploit some loophole in the rules of the game. It's wild.
Okay, that definitely shakes things up. And then there's that whole briefcase incident. What exactly happened there? I'm kind of afraid to ask.
Well, it involves Kaiba, and we all know Kaiba's not exactly going to be thrilled about his company being taken over. So there's this confrontation, and let's just say it gets physical. Like, Kaiba literally assaults Yako with a briefcase.
A briefcase, wow, that's...
Yeah,
that's not something you see every day in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah. Definitely not. It definitely adds to that darker, more intense vibe. And, it makes you wonder how they'd even show that in an anime adaptation.
Oh, man, good point. Which actually brings up something I've been wondering about. With this unique story and these interesting characters, should Yu-Gi-Oh! Or even get an anime adaptation? What do you think?
Honestly, I think it would be awesome. It'd be so cool to see Yako's unique deck in action, those god card counters. And not just the cards, but the whole thing. The animation style, the music, the voice acting. It could add a whole new dimension to the story.
I know, right? It'd be amazing to see those duels play out on screen, to see how they would handle some of the more intense moments. But thinking about the voice acting, that brings up a challenge, especially for audiences like the Hebrew-speaking fan base, who have come to know these characters with certain voices. Would they try to match the existing voice actors, or go with a whole new cast?
That's a tough call. I mean, keeping the familiar voices would maintain consistency and, that sense of nostalgia. But given how different Yu-Gi-Oh! R is in tone and style, a fresh cast could really emphasize its uniqueness.
Yeah, it would definitely make a statement about how the story stands apart, but it would be interesting to see how they'd handle the casting if they ever did adapt it.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be a lot to consider.
So many possibilities.
Absolutely. But for now, it's all hypothetical.
For now, yeah. But it's still fun to think about. We've certainly uncovered a hidden gem with Yu-Gi-Oh! R, a story that definitely raises more questions than answers.
It really does. And it highlights the creative potential within the Yu-Gi-Oh! World, showing how different creators can interpret and expand upon the same universe in fresh and unexpected ways.
Exactly. And with that, we leave you with this final thought-provoking question. If Yu-Gi-Oh! R were to be animated, what impact would it have on the fandom? Would it be embraced as part of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Canon? Or would it be seen as something separate, a unique spin-off? The answer, much like the story of Yu-Gi-Oh! R itself, remains a mystery. For now.
For now.
Until next time on The Deep Dive.
See you then.